Hello, welcome to our classes. I am Dr. K.K. Misra. This video tutorial is on descriptive questions and answers on managerial economics. This is KMB N102. This is part 9. Here I will be discussing from question number 29 to 32. Now come to what do you understand by price discrimination? Explain the conditions which make it possible and profitable. ये क्वेश्चन अक्सर एग्जाम में पूछा गया है या आपके सिलेबस में भी है इस बार के सिलेबस में चेंज सिलेबस में सो व्हाट इज प्राइस डिस्क्रिमिनेशन प्राइस डिस्क्रिमिनेशन इज एक्चुअली द प्रैक्टिस ऑफ चार्जिंग डिफरेंट प्राइसेस फॉर द सेम और सिमिलर प्रोडक्ट और सर्विस टू डिफरेंट कंज्यूमर्स वेयर द प्राइस डिफरेंसेस डू नॉट रिफ्लेक्ट द डिफरेंसेस इन कॉस्ट सप्लाई देयर आर types in whenever we talk about types, so there are three termed as first degree, second or third degree. First degree, charge whatever the market will bear, for example auction. Second degree, discount for quantity purchases, and third, market separated into distinct groups. Reasons for price discrimination. Price discrimination is carried out primarily to increase the profits of the discounting firms. It occurs where different consumers are charged different prices in different markets for the same product or service, or where the same consumer is charged different prices for the same product where the product different prices are not due to differences in supply costs. There are necessary conditions. 1. There must be some imperfection of the market. If there were perfect competition, price discrimination would not be possible. In fact, price discrimination would be impossible, since the individual producer could have no influence on price. Mind it, this is in case of perfectly competitive market. So hence this price discrimination is something which is discussed only in or applied in only in imperfect markets. At least some degree of monopoly power is therefore necessary so that producers have some ability to make rather than take the market price. 2. Discriminating supplier must be able to split the market into separate sections and keep them separate such that it is difficult to transfer the seller's product from one sector to another. There must be no seepage between markets in the sense that goods can be bought in the cheaper market and resold in the dearer. 3. Price elasticity of demand in each market must be different. If this were the case, the discriminating supplier would increase the price in the market with an inelastic demand curve and reduce price where demand is elastic in order to increase total revenue and profits. If the elasticity of demand in each market was the same at each and every price, a common price would be charged in both markets, as this price would represent the profit maximizing price in each market where marginal cost is equal to marginal revenue. You might wish to refer back at this stage to where we discussed the relationship between price elasticity of demand and total revenue in the previous tutorials. Now another question, at times it is asked, though this is the lengthy one, but you need to understand it. It may be asked in the examination. This is about King demand curve model. King demand curve basically under oligopoly. An oligopolist faces a downward sloping demand curve. Obviously, when they increase prices, but the elasticity may depend on the reaction of rivals to changes in price and output. इस डिमांड कर्व के कुछ मॉडल्स हैं, assumptions हैं. The assumption is that the firms in an oligopoly are looking to protect and maintain their market share. That's the main concern of the oligopolists. And the rival firms are unlikely to match another's price increase, but may match a price fall. That is, rival firms within an oligopoly react asymmetrically to a change in the price of another firm. This happens. If a business raises price and others leave their prices constant, then we can expect quite a large substitution effect, making demand relatively price elastic. The business would then lose market share and expect to see a fall in its total revenue. So this is the overall gist of the King model, assumptions of the King model. Basically, if a business reduces its price but other firms follow suit, the relative price change is smaller and demand would be inelastic. Cutting prices when demand is inelastic leads to a fall in revenue with little or no effect on market share. This is explained in this particular depiction, assuming that firms are attempting to maintain a high level of profits. Obviously, in oligopolist or even monopolist, though this is a case of oligopoly, their market share, they want to make high profit. Their market share, it may be the case that first, rivals will not follow a price increase by one firm, therefore demand will be relatively elastic and a rise in price would lead to a fall in the total revenue of the firm, as shown in fact from AR1 to AR2, and the same is you see here revenues, marginal revenue, or MR1 or MR2. B. Rivals are more likely to match a price fall by one firm to avoid a loss of market share. If this happens, demand will be more inelastic and a fall in price will also lead to a fall in total revenue. So here in this depiction, rival firms assumed to follow a price cut, making demand relatively inelastic. But firms are assumed not follow a price increase, making demand relatively elastic. So this relationship between price and output can be observed by these average or marginal revenues curves and the change which is depicted here. The king in the demand curve at price P and output Q means that there is discontinuity in the firm's marginal revenue curve. If we assume that marginal cost curve is cutting the MR curve, then the firm is maximizing profits at this point. Now here you can look at this particular figure where rising prices above P1, demand is relatively elastic. Firm loses market share and some total revenue. On this side, assume we start out at P1 and Q1 will a firm benefit from raising price above P1. Will it benefit from cutting price? That it can be seen, it can be observed here. Reducing price below P1, demand is relatively inelastic. Little gain in market share, other firms have followed suit. Total revenue may still fall. In the bottom diagram, we can see that a rise in marginal costs will not necessarily lead to higher prices, providing that the new MC cuts MR curve at the same point. The kinged demand curve theory suggests that there will be price stickiness in these markets and that firms will rely more on non-price competition to boost sales and revenue and profits. Here it can be observed very easily. Now question number 31. What do you mean by demand? Describe the factors affecting to it. So demand is the basis for all productive activities. Like necessity is the mother of production. Business managers should have a clear understanding of the following aspects. What are the sources of demand? What are the determinants? And how do buyers decide the quantity of product to be purchased? How do the buyers respond against prices of the commodity and quantity demand? How can the total or market demand for a product is forecast? These questions are answered by law of demand. The term demand implies a desire for a commodity backed by ability and willingness to pay for it. So, in other words, demand refers to that quantity of a commodity which an individual is willingly able to buy at a given market price in a given period of time. So, there are three things: desire plus ability to pay plus willingness to pay, and also quantity, price and time are important factors. So here you can go through the whole concept. Now, factors affecting demand, obviously these are self-explanatory. Price of commodity, price of related commodities like substitute or complementary, taste and preferences, income, expectations of future prices, advertisement and sales, consumer information, consumer credit facility available in the market. These were the factors. Now here we will discuss the causes to slope in the demand curve and types of demand. So price demand, usually when we talk of demand, we mean price demand. Price demand means the amount of commodity which a person is willing to purchase at a particular price in a particular given period of time. We presume consumer is his preferences and taste price of other related goods unchanged. Demand has inverse relationship with price. As the price increases, demand decreases, and vice versa. Income demand means amount of commodity which a person would purchase at a given level of income. While considering income demand, we assume price, taste, and price of other commodities as constant. Cross demand, that is due to the refers to the quantity of a commodity that an individual is able to buy due to the changes taking place in the prices of other commodities. And individual market, total market, and all, these are the different types of demands. Industry demand, company demand, short term, long term demand, demand for durable or non durable. And now here I will be concentrating on regions for downward slope in the demand curve. So one, law of diminishing marginal utility, substitution effect, income effect, change in the number of consumers, different users, tendency to satisfy unsatisfied wants. So this was all about this particular video tutorial. I hope that you have liked it, and if you have liked it, please do not forget to subscribe my YouTube channel R Classes and press the bell button and pass on to others, those who are needy now and in the future. Please like, share and subscribe. Thank you very much. Have a nice time. Best.